What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your boy Dak908, aka the Dig Dug himself, and today we're back with Week of Greatsword, episode 3. I know we missed a day yesterday, but yesterday was a very important day for me, and I didn't have the time. I honestly did not, like at all. Like I physically just did not actually have the time to actually put a video up and it actually be put up yesterday. Woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Didn't actually get home until like 10 o'clock that night. Had to go to work the following day and wake up at 6 o'clock again. So I didn't have time to do it. However, let's not talk about that. That's not important. Here we are with the Greatsword stuff, right? So this is what we're talking about right here. If you look to the screen, you'll notice that we got a Yukonlo's Greatsword on our back. Real quick, we're gonna talk about this. We're gonna talk about this real quick. I've never used an Yukonlo's weapon ever. You know what I mean? Like, so I thought, why not use the Yukonlo's Greatsword? Simply because my man, shout out to the homie Raymond, my man Raymond, he was the one who actually decided to give me the set right here. If you guys remember his name, you should, because he actually gave us the set last time when we did a Sword and Shield. But this is what the set looks like right here. I will tell you all the skills and everything, of course. If not, you can already refer to that on the far right of your screen. But the set looks amazing. It is a mixed set, but if you deck it out all in black, it looks like it matches together. So if you're a fashion hunter, you can totally rock this set and still look good while doing it. Now, let's talk about the set itself. Skills. We're looking at Crit Draw, Mind's Eye, Bludgeoner, and Focus. Now, when I did the week of Sword and Shield, we had a lot of Bludgeoner sets, and I really don't want to do too many more Bludgeoner sets because we seem to do them a little too often. But this set I just kind of had to do. I really did, because I looked at the set and I'm like, wow, this is a really good Bludgeoner set, and it's not really that hard to make. So much so, in fact, that it kind of makes me think it's not quite the Yuka set. You guys remember the Yuka set? I think is what it was. Yuka. The Yukonlo's Kaiser or Yukonlo's Teostra set from Monster Hunter Ultimate. This kind of reminds me of that. It's like the Act Damn or Act set or something like that. Regardless, it's still really good. I mean, I literally just put those pieces on there and the set practically made itself. You know what I mean? So if you have the ability to do so, you can make this set. It's not that hard to do, but it's kind of Bludgeoner cookie cutter for Greatsword. So if you're not trying to be cookie cutter, then I guess this isn't the set for you. However, this is probably the easiest one you could possibly make, it being a mix set and you still having really good defense. But with that out the way, let's actually look at the armor, because we did kind of briefly explain it. You're going to wear a Cantor Damascus, a Cantor Damascus, a Cantor armor. In that order, all of the R variants, of course, and your talisman. Now, your talisman doesn't have to be this. My talisman was this. My talisman was Fast Charge 5 or Focus 5, whatever you like to call it, 3 slots. My man Raymond did tell me you can use a Focus 3, excuse me, not 3, Focus 4 with the 3 slot talisman, and you can still get the job done. This is true because I actually have 1 free slot in my body. So you can still have a Focus 4 talisman. Heck, if you don't even have that, I mean, if you take your weapon and actually put some slots in your weapon, you could do that. But as it stands, this armor set comes straight from the armor itself and the talisman. You do not need to have a certain weapon to actually use this. That's why I was able to just pick any weapon that I wanted to. Now, about the weapon, we briefly discussed the Yukonlo's Greatsword. I highlighted it simply because I've never used the Yukonlo's weapon before. I always thought they were really ugly. But they had really high attack, and I think now would be a good time to actually use it, simply because he told me, yo, Dak, use Amaguchi or Amatsu if you guys are weird. Told me to use its weapons because it has high attack, 240, loads of green sharpness with only a smidget of blue, so you'll knock that blue off real quick. And I was like, you know what? I could do that. The only issue to it though is that the Amaguchi weapons, they're okay on the water. They just have -20 affinity, and I'm like, okay, if I'm gonna use -20 affinity weapons because my man recommended me to use this weapon, I'm going to go with the weapon that I kind of really wanted to use. I wanted to be a rebel, so I totally chose Yukonlo's, which gave me 250 attack, still -20 affinity, but like 25 defense or something like that. And I think the ice is the same as the water that Amaguchi would have given you, so it's fine. The only caveat, I guess you could say, is that the green sharpness isn't as long as Amaguchi's is. So for fighting a monster with Amaguchi Greatsword, you probably might not ever actually run out of the green sharpness. However, you can do this with the Yukonlo's Greatsword. I do it, I think, twice in this hunt, so it's not that big of a deal. If you're a stickler for sharpening weapons, then you'll probably want to go with the Yamaguchi. But if you're not, you could probably still get away with the Yukonlos joint. That's if you want an element and maybe the defense. But if not, if you're really not about that, you could probably get away with a Cantor, because that's a whole lot of positive affinity, but not a lot of sharpness. However, moving over to the style, guild, and the Hunter Arts, Absolute Evasion, and Lion's Maw. I didn't even need these Lion's Maw. I really didn't. I just had a feeling that if I'd actually used my, what is it? I have Brimstone / level 2, not level 3. I know I'm a scrub, but I recommend Brimstone / 3, because you know it's a set that adheres towards high attack. So if you're about that life, then you'll be about that life. However, I chose to go about with this. This is just my preferred arts. You can use whatever arts you want to. He didn't actually specify any arts that I could use, so I just chose my own style and arts. But that's the set. Okay, that's the set. It's a pretty dope set. I mean, it's not bad. I can put it up there. It's like a solid A. If I had to grade it, it'd be an A, not an A+ and not an S grade. Why not? Because the skills aren't like crazy, and 2 of those skills are Greatsword like skills that you kind of need to use as a Greatsword user: critical draw and focus. Bludgeon is pretty cool. It's easier to actually gem in than I thought it actually would have been. Well, it's not really that. Okay, I thought when the skill first got announced in Cross, it was gonna be a hard skill to like gem in, but it's actually really easy to gem in, so that's not a big issue there. Mind's Eye is probably the hardest skill to actually gem in, due in part that the ratio, I think it's like 3 for 2 or something like that, or like 2 for 3. I forget the exact ratio to it, but the Mind's Eye might be a little bit harder to actually gem in than practically anything else, because I don't think Mind's Eye. No, I'm wrong. It's Focus the hardest one to actually gem into this set, because nothing gives focus. Your whole armor set will give you crit draw, Mind's Eye, and Bludgeoner. You can just add in like 1-2 gems in there and boom, you got it. So it's not a really hard set to make, and it's not really hugely and outlandishly sporadic. The skills are like pretty solid skills and not like crazy skills, so that's where it's lacking that S grade. But it's an A grade kind of joint, and it's really not that hard to make, like I said. I mean, if you have a focus talisman, heck, if you have a focus talisman with 3 slots in it, you can still get away with doing it no matter your actual number into the focus it is. Because if you have a 3-slot Greatsword or whatever, you can probably just gem in your extra focus points there. So yo, you can totally get away with this set. It's not a bad set. I like it. It's really cool. I might run it in my own personal collection simply because it looks good. It really does. I'm not a fashion hunter, but if we put everything black, nothing is really conflicting looking, so you can actually get away with that. So all in all, shout out to the homie Raymond, give me this set. It's a really dope set. What I would probably want to do later on, experiment if you will, probably get all of these skills on here, or maybe minus a skill, or maybe 2 skill. I don't know. I'll probably minus 1 skill and see if I can squeeze on Challenger, so that way, because I don't know if I'll be able to get actually get attack large on here, because I don't have a talisman for that. So Challenger 2 might be my next best thing, or maybe Challenger 1. Just the attack boost will be fine for me, and the affinity would actually deviate from the -20 that's on the Greatsword I'm using. So you know, it might be a thing, it might not be a thing, who knows. But yeah, that's what I wanted to say about it, and that's practically about it. Now I know there's plenty of fight left to go in this video, so I'm now going to plug in some of that stuff that I tend to always kind of plug in, you know, the whole give me your mix sets and all that stuff. So let's do it. Give me your mix sets. Give me your mix sets, guys. I mean, we did good. So far so good. Everything's looking great. I got some mix sets that I still need to try out on the first video, so if I have yet to actually get to your mix set, just even if you already posted in one of the other videos, post it again anyway, you know what I mean? I don't really care. So just give me your mix sets. It could be for Greatsword, it could be for anything outside of Sword and Shield, since we already did Sword and Shield week of. So just give me any of your mix sets. I'll accept all of them. I will use whichever ones I can for the Greatsword, and if I like a set that you say, let's say you made a hunting horn set, which there is one in there, and I did write it down. If you make a hunting horn set or just some other kind of weapon set and I like it, I'll write it down, and when we get to that week of, I will use that set. All right, for sure. So with that being said, everyone, that's pretty much it for today. I apologize if this video probably isn't the best video. I'm not gonna lie to you, normally when I go into making a video, I actually have something on the brain that I want to talk about, but this one I kind of didn't really have anything on the brain that I actually want to talk about, so I just kind of talked about, you know, the raw stuff. But don't worry, guys, I think this video will be fine. I'm still on my way on upping the production values for my videos, so that way so that way they become more enjoyable, and if you have any pointers, anything you want to actually bring to light, any issues, any problems, concerns, or anything you actually want me to see me do, please let me know, because if you don't say anything, I won't do anything. Take care, guys. This has been your boy. Desire Center and all that.